After their exhausting battle, the party tied up their surviving captive and found some orders from the Regessian commanders ordering the invasion of Dassen. The orders also mentioned madness and that they waited to learn of their success or failure, there being madness. Along with deception and indomitability, madness may be another Trilith. Wait, did I do that right, Justin? Is it Trilith?
Yep.
Child of Trilla or Trilith, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that is total conjecture from like us, right? Like that. I don't think Justin has portrayed anything to that.
He is not.
Yeah.
You mean like in game?
Yeah.
In the game.
It's our guess.
Yeah.
But we happen to all agree on it for once, so that's probably why we feel so strongly about it.
I think Justin has corrected us on it, and that's why we feel so strongly about it.
No.
Rob, you're talking about the name. They're talking about the fact that madness is a Trilith.
Oh, right. Yeah, I am totally talking about the name. Sorry, I lost it there, guys.
All
right, moving on. With evidence and prisoner in tow, the party made their way back through the Elite Gap, returning to Gallows Fend. Once there, Gallo urged the party to make haste with his new proxy, Mackeson, and get to Dashkaban to present the evidence to him. On their way out of the Fend, the three friends were greeted with a welcome sight. Rayland and Winry majestically soaring on their bird mount. After a reunion, the once again complete protectors of the past began their trek to Dashkaban.
But first...
Oh?
Rayland, what happened to your hair?
Oh, I wasn't even referring to that. But, well, I had to cut it off.
Had to?
No.
But why?
You're undercover. You have to do what you have to do to fit in.
What did you do, Winry?
Oh, I got myself really dirty.
How'd that work out?
It was sticky.
Gross.
Did it take a long time to get all out?
It did. Would not.
She hasn't even gotten it all out. I imagine I'm hugging her and then I come back and I've just got my face just covered with her fur stuck to my face.
Have they told us that we're all wanted? I forget. Because I don't think that they have.
You got relatively chased out of town.
I mean, like a wanted poster, like official, we're wanted for money.
I imagine they gave us the full download.
I think they mentioned it.
It's too bad they didn't take one as like a souvenir.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
I'm sure we'll be able to find one later.
That could have been next fan art.
We should have went around town and destroyed them all.
Jack gets to be like, they don't get my nose right in any of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody was gonna say something like that.
That was a reference for you, hun.
Tangled.
What was I gonna say? Well, actually, what I was going to get at is we do need to talk to Gallo. I've already brought up the ingredients, the list of ingredients. No.
You said in chat, I need to bring them up to or show them to Bryn.
Yeah, I just wanted to double check that. Bryn, can you read this for me? And I'm gonna hand her the list.
And it says...
I'm not going into full details on every single item that's on here.
But our immersion, Justin.
What I had mentioned to Rayland in the past was that at least one of the items that's listed here is often used as a masking agent for taste.
Do I, or listing the ingredients out to Jack, do either of us recognize what the ingredients would be used to make?
You can make, let's see. Either of you trained in herbalore kits or herbing kits or like alchemy kits?
Cora was.
Hold up a minute. Where would I find that?
Who was?
Cora.
Cora was. Didn't she make healing potions?
I did.
Why do you
I always
remember
forgot.
that?
I don't know.
Proficiencies in language. I do not.
Herbalism kit. Yes.
Okay. You can go ahead and then roll a wisdom check.
Oh, I can't roll an Arcana, Justin? For nature?
Nope.
Oh!
Natural 20 plus 4 is
Nice.
24.
This was not the time for it, but sure.
Sure it was.
Take it when we can get them.
Maybe it was. Who knows? One of the... Let me look this up. I want to make sure I'm saying proper things for you. One of the ingredients that you can see here, outside of the kind of masking agents that you'd seen before, does kind of stand out to you a little bit. You've got to be kidding me, children. Go to bed.
It's always so sad when Cassie has to get up.
Yeah, did it make you feel bad in the background? The local name for this herb, or at least what it's made into, is... I could make up a really cool name for you, I'm sure, off the top of my head. But the kind of colloquial name for it is Red Madness. The only thing that you really know about it, besides the fact that it is it is not a curative magic at all, and therefore was kind of brushed over very briefly in kind of your background training, is that it tends to cause insanity. Especially aggressive insanity.
Oh dear.
It's what they feed into the king.
That feels like a worst case scenario. That feels like almost one of the worst things that could have been, quote unquote, the madness.
Oh, so
that's what they're. You're right. That's what they're talking about.
That's
because
what I
now we
said.
have to heal the king, basically.
But, so this could be evidence that madness is not part of Trilith, and it's whether or not the madness takes hold in Steppengard, and if that works, then they can proceed with their plan, which it seems like it is working. So,
To some extent. I mean...
Is there an antidote?
To some extent, right?
yeah, because he was still pretty restrictive. Like, he didn't kill that one
Yeah.
guy
That
that they
could
were
be-
interrogating.
Integrating.
They were
Deteriorating.
To answer Rayland, not an herbalist one. He asked, is there an antidote? And I said, not a herbalist one.
Sounds
Yeah.
like I need to be level 8, is what you're telling me, Justin.
Is there something
Not
wrong with
really
my mic, by the way? Like, I feel like I
No.
haven't. Okay.
No, I heard you
just
just
interrupting
fine.
you more.
Everyone just kept talking.
It's just a normal thing, Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. It's just the typical. Yeah, I gotcha. Also, I also want to talk to Gallo about this crest, the serpent, and the sword that we keep running into. Maybe he knows something about it. An old noble family, perhaps.
Well, Moccasin, would you recognize this symbol at all?
Let me take a look. Nope.
I'll sketch it
He
out.
said no.
I rolled for it, and nope.
Damn it. Okay, fine. Let's go talk to Gallo.
Oh shoot, there was something that I was thinking about messaging you, Justin, and being like, can I retcon and say that I asked Gallo this? And now I don't remember what it was.
Well, here's your chance to remember.
Yeah, you have a chance to think about it because we're gonna go ask him quick.
You guys quickly head back, only having left a short time ago. Back into the chambers and like, oh, Mr. Michael Gallo, Lord Sir, what's this? And Rayland kind of holds up the paper to him, and he takes a look at it, and he's like, haven't seen that crest in years, many years. This is an old story from when I was a child, even. It is the crest of an old minor noble family. Some 50 years ago, The man was a heinous criminal. And then when it came to light, as far as I know, he was executed. But the man was used as a old wives' tale, a superstitious tale ever since.
In what
Outside
way?
of character, something like Jack the Ripper would be the synonymous kind of story level here.
Like he'd snatch children up?
I know he was obsessed with the occult. That's as much as I can really recall about it.
All that means is he was captured, executed. He was in the mass of bodies down below, and when the Inquisitors came, they reanimated one body, and that happened to be the body that they chose.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What was the crest one more
would-
time? It was Snake and...
I would
So-
allow both Jack and Myetharia to roll a history check, as you guys have not seen this before. Bryn, I'm not going to let you roll for it.
Terrible
Sorry.
history, but let's do this. I'm gonna.
It was the crest was a serpent and...
A serpent
Sword.
coiling around a spear.
Spear.
Beer.
Hey.
Nice.
Straight 15.
23.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Jack, you feel like you might have heard this story before a little bit. Just some of it. You only know pieces here and there, maybe not the whole story. Ooh, I'm getting feedback every now and then.
Yeah, I'm getting a little too.
What you can recall is that there was a story that you had picked up on kind of in bars, maybe places like this, of a man named Jutras. 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 And he was, like they mentioned, he was obsessed with the occult. And he was, well, I don't need to get into the details, but he's sacrificing people to this supposed bat-winged demon named Ineluki. Ineluki. He served it like it was a deity or something similar. And even up until his execution, he cried out that Ineluki was going to rescue him and reward him for his service.
Well,
You know, one other
That sounds
weird
familiar.
fact that always came up in the stories about him and how things were resolved. For some reason, there was always a chicken involved in subduing him. Take that as you will.
I love this.
One more time, he said, when he was executed, he said what specifically?
I don't have the exact words for it, but the general idea for it for you that you can pick out of the story was that Ineluki was going to rescue him and reward him for his service.
Well, that didn't happen. Subdued by...
So from your semi-professional view, somewhere between... Is that Cassie's new those headphones picking it up weirdly or something?
yeah.
It's
Getting
one
a
nice.
slight ring.
What's
They're really cute.
It is really cute.
You're like a
Somewhere
gamer girl,
between like deity and warlock patron, maybe. It's unclear exactly the specifics here, but that's kind of the feel that you get from it.
Okay, I'll share that with everybody.
Oh, it's probably not the last we've heard of Ineluki.
A bat wing. Could it be the dragon in the myths? No.
No,
No, I think
my
this is
thought
something entirely
was
different.
he sounds this guy sounds like a similar attitude to what Lee Sideneth had.
Maybe.
So I wonder if they're connected.
What do you mean?
When he died, he called out to his deity to save him.
Yeah.
And it was, from what I remember, it was someone that we didn't know, or he didn't say a name. He just said master.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
So Seems like
But I feel like out of game, I feel like any warlock would call out to their patron as they were dying to come save them. I don't know, or any.
He wasn't a warlock. He was a druid.
Holy
Master, let your winds destroy them.
I just looked that up
I
too.
guess wings make wind. I don't know. It's probably a stretch, guys. I'm just probably.
The thought crossed my mind as well.
I just think it's something we want to keep in mind as we continue on. But for now, let's stay focused on getting this civil war sorted out.
Also, Lord Gallo, Rayland and Winry, our friends who were apprehended in Bresk, they uncovered some information about potentially some. Did we share the madness stuff with Gallo? I assume so, right?
I mean, you shared in the note, at least.
Yeah,
we showed him. He knows.
Yeah.
And what they found was information about something relating to some kind of poison called red madness that causes some kind of aggressive action. That's consistent with what we saw with King Steppengard's actions. We believe that maybe he's being poisoned by this stuff. If any of your mages could send a message out to his people, maybe they can intercept him in some way, maybe start clearing his mind of this poison. It's worth an ask, I believe.
I do not think that they would take kindly to missives at this moment in time.
That's fair.
And it's probably the people who are poisoning him are the ones who could heal him.
Good point.
Regardless, keep your ears open. Even though you think you have an idea, that doesn't mean it is necessarily all of the answer.
It's a very wise position to take, Lord Gallo.
Speaking of things that are unclear, I recalled something as we were leaving, as that always happens. When we were in the gap, I had a question. Your people in each of the towers were capable of sending messages. But is there any reason, perhaps, why, when they were attacked, the last watchtower did not send a message back that they were being attacked?
I could not tell you one way or the other. My only thoughts on the matter would be either the Inquisitors are renowned for canceling magic, or they were taken unaware.
All right. Just a thought I had. That does make sense, though. Thank you.
Well, I imagine with that, we will say goodbye again and.
Are we set to move on now? Are we?
Yes.
Anyone else think of something? Let's go check with the armorers one more time. Be like,
Myetharia
"Hey, space open up."
Myetharia really wanted to go back to see Sir Sterling again.
Like looking around.
Well, as we'd left things off last time, you have a choice to make.
We were
can
going to
only
go
decide
over the woods.
I just wanted to make sure that you
Right,
were
right, right.
there were
Ride the
choices to
woods,
make.
over the woods, all the way to, what's his nut?
To Dashkaman.
To Dashkaman.
So the
And
plan
then-
was
Yeah.
to ride to the woods, which would take you till roughly the end of the day at that point, because you're kind of late afternoon as it is already. And then the next day, spend a significant amount of time jumping back and forth with Polymorph, and then getting back on the horses. Or no, you don't have horses at that point. You'd be walking the rest
No,
of the
we
way.
figured out that we could take Polymorph and Cassie from the edge of the woods the rest of the way to Dashkaban.
Yeah, we did the math last time, and by we, I mean you did.
Because you do the math, Justin.
I thought that you guys could go back and forth over the Pitchwood with both casts of Polymorph.
No, we determined it was
You
one
said
cast.
it was-
And then
you
the rest
said
of
it
the
was-
way, the second cast would be from the Pitchwood to Dashkaban.
He said he
Okay,
could
fine.
recast it. I don't know.
I'm not
We
that
also
worried
should be
about it at this point.
we should be able to make it over the Pitchwood in one shot because we've got Tabaxi carrying some people, me carrying some other people.
As long as it's 1 hour, I don't know.
Well, I've got 2 castings
long?
of it, so we just essentially get halfway through land and take off again.
Set down and then you recast it. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So the next day spent very oh my gosh, Cassie, can you please mute? It's killing me. I'm sorry. The next day is spent then, or the rest of the day is spent riding to the forest, roughly, before you guys take a sleep. And then the next morning, what else would be these? The next morning, you guys kind of get together, start with polymorph, summon Tabaxi, and begin to fly over the pitchwood. As you guys go over it, kind of maybe halfway through, give or take, you guys get a chance to pass over the denizens of the pitchwood as you guys kind of go. Just kind of get to see them from above. They're these relatively, like, close to person-sized fey creatures. They kind of have this inky look to them as they kind of move through the trees, the forest, as they go. They don't reflect as much light as you feel like they should, and they're called Pitchlings. You can know that as their names, and it's where Pitchwood and Pitchwoodburg kind of got their infamy, and it's where they harvest this pitch that is used and sold and keeps the town in business. But making your way over to the other side safely, you're able to land and continue on your way. I'm just gonna kind of skip ahead because it's very easy for you guys to make the travel, considering you're staying out of the area with the army and staying away from as much as you can at this point in time. And so by the time that day is roughly kind of near coming to an end, or at least later on in the day, but it's only about 20 miles actually after you go over, so it'd probably be just a couple hours afterwards. You guys start to see Dashkaban's castle coming up on the horizon. I guess I overstated it. If it's only 20 miles, it probably is a little bit afternoon. As you guys are getting closer to it, you can see that Dashkaban's castle is built into a stone outcropping, which is streaked with old erosion from rain, so it looks more like a giant monster clawed rents in the side of the rocks. There's no surrounding city to this castle. It is just surrounded by scattered farms and villages. There's no centralized city here. It is just a defensive castle with kind of a feudal land system around it.
It's like Winterfell.
Sure, I can see that. When you're getting closer, you can see that there are cavalry that are practicing maneuvers out in the fields as you guys are arriving. And they kind of clock you guys on the way in, kind of see you, and they don't form up or anything, but they do watch you interestedly. Up to you.
I would I was thinking I would use minor illusion to holler down at him, but I don't think that would work. I'm gonna try it anyway, because it's 30 feet, so maybe we could fly down a little bit, and I will...
Well, you're just outside the castle at this point, so at some point you're gonna not be polymorphed anymore.
That's fair. I just wanted to call out so they didn't, like, attack us, but we can land near the castle.
Wouldn't you have to get out of polymorph before you cast minor illusion?
That's true. I am still an eagle. So I try to cast minor illusion. Just... Okay, so yeah, we'll land outside, a decent way outside of the castle, not right above the guys that are outside, because we don't want them to think we're attacking them, but just kind of like a gentle landing and then drop polymorph.
Sure.
I'll keep Tabaxi out.
Also, when I
Paranoid.
drop polymorph and I just fall to the ground. I'm like, ugh, that was so hard. Ugh. Doing like shoulder stuff, like stretching my arms, like
They're just kind of watching you guys. You can see that they're kind of talking amongst themselves.
Guess we'll stroll on up.
I'll wave to them and I'll say, very warm greetings, friends. Hi, I'm Jack. I was that eagle. We're from Lord Gallo.
You can see that a little bit of tension leaves their shoulders, that you hadn't necessarily seen those there originally when you guys say that. And they say, Gallo's messengers have finally arrived. Guess we better saddle things up.
Finally, I think we were pretty fast, were we?
We've been expecting you guys to come, at least. Looking forward to it.
Did Gallo send word ahead?
Very method acting over there.
I've got my hands I've got my head down, like hands on my knees, like.
He said, no, but as soon as we heard that Steppengard's forces were marching north, we just kind of assumed that we'd be getting a messenger someday.
Have you heard word from Steppengard at all? A messenger
Not officially,
from him?
no. I'm sure that they'll send the runners past as they go, but we'll see.
Well then, pray tell, why are we just practicing maneuvers out here and not making your way to Gallo's call?
No, there hasn't been a call yet. We're waiting for it.
Well, here it is.
We may be eager. We won't march without a formal request and permission from the Lord.
Well, that is why we are here. We have information to show to Lord Dashkaban that will no doubt give you the permission that you seek.
Well, the knights look back and kind of, get acquainted with Moccasin for a moment, and then they say, well, what are you doing still out here then? Head on into the Lord. I'm sure that you'll be well received.
Thank you very much.
And so we go. Walk. Fly.
Heading inside, just briefly. It could be my freaking headphones too, for all I know.
What if I turned into a giant Hulk?
I am very far away from you.
I know, and I'm still hearing it in my own ears, so I'm...
You're going
I was
crazy.
saying, we're not hearing it. It was only a very slight buzz to us. I could barely tell.
Cassie, you are so well lit.
It is so bright in here.
We got a new van, guys, and the lights are so bright on the inside. They're like spotlights, lighthouse.
Heading in, you quickly introduce yourselves, say your mission, this sort of thing, and after a brief moment of time, you find yourself before Lord Dashkaban, a pale-haired, aging dwarf with that's supposed to be soft beard. I read soft bear for a second, and I was very confused. And I was like, I need to revise my opinion of this man very quickly.
That's what his wife calls him. You soft beer.
Such a little bear.
He stands before you and says, I've been waiting for you. Well, not you specifically, perhaps, but the lot of you.
Well, very warm greetings, Lord Dashkaban. My name is Jack, and we are the Protectors of the Pass. And we've actually had dealings with your proxy, Aramak. He's a very good dwarf. And
I heard from my cousin. Yes. Seems you made quite the impression on him.
Well, buying him a few bottles of his favorite drink definitely helped. Wait.
The dandelion ale.
The dandelion ale.
Very good.
I was gonna say sunflower.
Ooh, that sounds like it makes
Sunflower seeds. Close.
Credits to you.
I don't know, dandelion ale already reminds me of Redwall every time I hear it. Yes, Adamak did tell me that you were quite the the generous ones. So,
Well, I'm glad that our reputation precedes us. We have been sent by Lord Gallo, as you have most astutely put together. Lord Gallo calling for aid from both you, Lord Dashkaman, and also Lady Timor. King Steppengard marches on Gallo's Fend, and we need to stop him.
Gallo wished us to bring you some evidence that Regessians might be behind this, and had us venture into the Elite Gap and procure this evidence from his furthest outpost.
Sure. You've been around Jack a lot.
You have thrown me completely off rails.
Sorry.
For the furthest outpost, and here are some plans that we've acquired from the Regessians regarding their plans in alignment with Steppengard.
And
He
to
kinda
clarify, the tower that we went to was overrun by Regessians. We had to fight off many of them.
he gives them a
Everything
once
was
over and looks at each of you in turn. Says, "You verify the veracity of these reports, then yourselves."
Yes, the furthest outpost, the Regessians had set up signal fires to alert what we presume is armies waiting outside the gap. And we have seen Regessians at Court and Bresk, and littered throughout our travels, pulling strings.
Rayland, in fact, was tortured by Regessians. He can't walk very well.
Maybe Rayland doesn't want to talk about his.
No, I was gonna say something very dramatic, but I was gonna say, yeah, I lost a few shit. See, now I'm
Legolas. You lost a couple Legolases.
Try again. Take two.
I lost a few ligaments in my knee to bring you this information. I can attest to its veracity.
He kind of eyes you. Well, and he turns to the side and says, "Bring me the finest. Be a drinking day." And he kind of nods to each of you, says, "Each of you, drink with me. Then, I will send my men.
What if
Of
we don't
course.
drink?
I'll just feel less of you before we go. One
If
way or
any
the
of my
other.
fellows do not drink with you, I will drink their fair share.
One way or the other.
Oh no!
I
Don't
feel like
say that to
specifically
Rayland.
for
Don't
Jack,
say that to
Yeah.
Like,
Rayland.
I'll give it to
Everyone
Jack.
suddenly is like, okay, let's see what happens.
I feel like because of this, I have secretly prepared an antidote for Jack when it comes to drinking.
Oh, it's kind of racist. You're like, we're going to be with dwarves. Better get ready for alcohol consumption.
No.
It's one way or the
It's
other.
a general statement because you tend to drink more than you are capable of.
Mm-hmm.
We shall ride. 1,000 cavalry, 2,000 foot soldiers, mustered to march. Let it not be
Thank you.
said, Dashkaban stood idle, while Gallo felt the brunt of the attack.
We thank you for your allegiance and your dwarven mettle. We look forward to seeing you and your men metal, not like wait. You know what I mean.
I understood the pun, yes.
We look
We look forward to seeing you and your men on the battlefield.
I'll drink to that.
In short order, a cask is brought in and cracked, or opened, whatever. Just ripped it
That's how
wide
dwarves
open.
do it.
Coconut.
Open up, everyone.
Like, you know how those, frat boys just like crack the can open and just
Yeah, right.
drink
Yeah.
outside.
Just drinking from the bottom. That's how it
How
works,
dwarves
right?
go.
Just
And then
slam
he's
a
laughing
spigot
out of
in.
it like a kitty cat bowl.
It doesn't even have an off. It just kind of flows out at you guys.
You don't stop till it's gone. Don't waste a drop.
And a well-aged dandelion ale is shared amongst the lot of you, as you would so choose. The two elves, I'm sure.
Dandelions.
You make up your own decision on how it tastes. The two elves, I'm sure, would be quite familiar with this, as it is a Shahalesti drink, specifically. The rest of you, up to you if you want to have some familiarity with it or not, but it is sweet. I can say that at the very least.
There's lots of memories back.
Yeah, as we're drinking, I'll lean over to a few and be like, my brothers used to sneak this to me when I wasn't quite of age.
What is of age when it comes to elves? That's my question.
I was just thinking that
75.
too, actually.
No alcohol till you're 75.
Regardless, you guys spend a little bit of time with Dashkaban. Moccasin thinks it is important for you guys to socialize and diplomatize a little bit. But before the afternoon is up, even maybe after a meal perhaps with them, as he is sending out orders to get the army set and ready to march around Pitchwood. They're going to go the long way around to stay away from the army. Soon you find yourself in the afternoon, late afternoon, and it is time for you guys to continue on your way. You can each...
Could we have horses?
Yes, he can send you guys with horses. That is acceptable. You guys can also each take inspiration, if you'd like, for the time being.
Oh.
For this next leg of the journey, having successfully recruited Lord Dashkaban. And I will say, just for everyone's benefit right now, yes, it was easy, and yes, it was because of Jack's performances at court and also on the side with Aramok. So you guys
Yay, Jack!
feel proud that your
Apparently
previous
I had
efforts
inspiration from you.
were meaningful.
All right. I love it.
Oh.
Job.
Yeah, I was like waiting. Like I was gonna insight check the wine, but
I was gonna be like,
easy.
this could be a really elaborate trap, or they're just, happy to help us.
Oh, because Aramok would have seen... Aramok was in court that day, and he would have let his cousin know what happened.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That makes sense. I love it.
Well, now you have
Thanks,
the next
Justin.
choice. Heading
So
up to Timor is a little bit more interesting for you. You do still have... Wow, Cassie, turn on all the lights.
I want to turn this off.
Heading back to Pitchwood Burg would probably be a day's worth of travel, give or take. With horses, maybe it'd be the rest of the day's worth of travel, at least, if you wanted to head there. You could also just kind of avoid the town, not worry about it. Beyond that, there's two choices to get up the Glasskeel cliffs and into Timor's lands. Like I said before, you can either try to scale the cliffs themselves or flying up them, or whatever combination of whatever you'd like to do there. Or you can take the long way kind of around the cliffs instead, which is a little bit of a longer trek around, but it is easier.
Where
It'd
is her
take
castle?
An additional day of travel. Is basically right on top of the cliffs, like on the LA area, right about here, give or take.
Oh, okay.
So going up the cliffs is very fast. Going around is very easy and safe. But slow.
Well, Jack can't fly again until tomorrow, right?
Well, so we have to ride to Pitchwood and then we'll rest. And then tomorrow we can fly over, is what I thought we had decided that we were going to do.
I'm just giving you your options here. I'm not locking you into something that was said.
Which you can
briefly.
do 2 casts of it and we can get over. We should be able to get over.
Yeah, if we were able to get across Pitchwood into Dashkaban, we should be able to get there with the amount of castings that I have. So that, that would be the plan. Then we ride to Pitchwood Burg and fly.
I mean, not to be like but mountains are way different than trees. Like, you're covering a lot more ground going up and down. Like covering through the air, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
it's also as the crow flies. So it'll equal out. Justin's probably got some roles planned.
Well, even if not, what we could do
Jump to
is we
Justin.
could ride to Pitchwood Berg, and then we could ride to like the foothills of the cliffs, and then once we get there, fly the rest of the way.
Yep, that's kind of what I was assuming that you would do if that was your path.
yeah.
Why doesn't everyone or anyone, I guess, go ahead and make a nature check.
That's not good. Well,
16.
15 for me.
Rolled a 1, but I got to roll
Like
again,
for halfway.
so it's a 7.
Oh yeah.
so it's a 7.
Cassie.
13.
Okay.
Oh.
So Jack, Bryn, both of you realize a couple of things about this sort of. What'd you roll?
Myetharia.
16. I got
Oh,
16.
sorry.
I rolled a 12.
Jack, Myetharia, my bad. I mixed your voices when I was
Elves.
totally looking at other stuff. You both can realize kind of some of the history of the area, and you know that there's how can I say this nicely? There's some wildlife, I guess, that typically finds their way to homes in cliffs and mountains like this. There's a couple of types of things. There's the bigger animals and things like this that live more in the caves, and then there's typically birds and large eagles, griffins, this sort of thing that like to roost and nest up in the mountains.
Oh, now I'm personally worried that we're like gonna get attacked by something giant flying while we're flying, and then we fall out of the air.
Land, right?
Typical overthinking, but still. Alright,
Do we think it'll
mention
take more than an hour of flying to get up the cliffs, Justin?
No, probably not.
mention the wildlife and such to the others.
But regardless,
Are
we
there
ride
big
horses.
flying things?
Griffins.
Yes, I mean,
It's so. I guess it's. Do we want to fight griffins or whatever's in caves?
Oh, I can't do invisibility.
I could. Oh, I could.
You have greater invisibility.
But I could cast it on you.
It can last for a minute, huh?
But if there's a bird chasing us, I could cast it on you so that it doesn't go after you and it goes after us.
the spell says you and everything.
Isn't
with,
everything you're carrying-
right?
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You're carrying us on your
Like
back.
that.
Oh, now I hear myself too. This is awful.
Are we talking
Well,
about
you're not
greater
getting the
invisibility?
reverb, actually, so.
Yeah.
Because you need
So
to
it
turn
only
in
lasts-
just.
I mean, if you're
Right.
able to cast it
Just
on
have you off.
Tabaxi and on me, then we're in business. We could probably flank a griffin or something in a minute.
Well, it's not. It's more. I can't touch. I can't do two. But my thought is, if I cast it on you, then we can all get to the ground, so
Yeah.
it doesn't attack you and you lose your form and everybody on you drops.
Yeah, I
It
say
does-
if we get
it's a
attacked in the air,
distraction.
we just plan to land, because that's a bad idea.
Yeah, the
Fighting
flight
the air
up,
with carrying people.
for what it's worth, the flight up would be like 10 minutes, give or take.
Oh. Okay.
Because that's like 3,500 feet upwards.
Let's just do it.
Yeah. I think it's worth a
Agreed.
shot.
I agree.
The other option is Tabaxi could, if it's only 10 minutes of flying, Tabaxi could take half the crew up in one shot, and I could cast invisibility on him, which would make him and whoever he's carrying invisible. He goes up, drops everyone off, comes back down, and then picks the rest of us up and takes us up.
And then you
Or
cast it at
Rayland
the
and I
top.
can climb.
Myetharia can climb too, right? Why would
Are
you
you
guys
good?
climb?
Climber, Myetharia?
Oh, that's a funny story I've got to tell you guys about later.
Oh, friend. I think I remember saving
I
your
want to hear
life
everything.
in the watchtower. Don't make me regret it.
Oh, Winry, I turned into a giant ape.
Did.
For what
what?
it's
Why?
for what it's worth, I want to say this before it gets out of hand. You cast invisibility on a mount. I am not going to allow that to count as casting invisibility on everything the mount is flying.
Anything the target is wearing or carrying.
I don't like that because it's talking about items, not about people.
It's non-specific.
Aw. It does seem pretty OP, honestly.
Yeah.
Justin's right.
Yeah,
about this one.
This is
That's
one
not
where
trace.
I don't care even if Jeremy Crawford says something about it. That just seems ridiculous.
So
Yeah.
I think we're also overthinking it. There's either going to be
Yeah.
monsters on the ground if we ride the horses, or monsters in the air. If they're in the air, then we land and we'll be fine.
And we deal with them. Yeah. I agree.
That's a fair point. Okay. Well, we'll try to. I say we try to shake them first, but then if we can't shake them, then we land, fight them. All right, that's
What's your
fair.
definition of shaking them? Because
Going
shaking them can
faster.
shake us off of you.
Trying to go faster.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But we really can't go faster because we're carrying things, so we probably should just land.
I think the plan is fine. Let's do that. We'll fly up, and if we get attacked by something, we'll land and deal with it, and then continue flying.
So after spending the evening then, somewhere in the general vicinity of Pitchwoodburg, you guys going to skip on past and head up to the side of the cliffs, right?
Is it safe to assume that we would stay in an inn at Pitchwoodburg, or is it too small a place that wouldn't have an inn?
There might be an inn with like 1 or 2 rooms, but that'd be about it.
Okay. Well,
So if
I
you
would
wanted
recommend,
to, sure, you could.
yeah, let's stay indoors when we can. It's
Slumber
warmer indoors.
party.
But what if where's Steppengard's army compared to where we're at?
We have to sleep regardless.
I
You
know,
don't
but but
Might
we
as
can
well be
hidden
comfy.
in the-
Probably not close
We
enough
could be
because they said
hidden
it
in
was
the
going to be
hut.
at least a week's travel from where they were to Gallows Fend. So after 3 days maybe, I don't think that they'll be that close to Pitchwoodburg.
Even so, if they came in the night, we could just fly away. I'll just get to the point. I would hope that we would stay in an inn, that we could have drinks, because I would like to get Rayland a drink. And in a private moment, I will bring a drink over to Rayland, and I'll hand it to him, and I'll just say, "Thank you for keeping her safe. And for what it's worth, I'm glad to see you again."
Yeah, thanks for the drink.
And he's back.
I'll drink
every
it.
damn time.
I love it.
I'll drink mine too, and if he wants to sit in solidarity or sit in silence, I'll sit in silence with him for a while. But right before leaving, I imagine there's a point where we've been sitting in silence where Jack is just like, I gotta say words, I gotta go somewhere else. So I'll just stand up, I'll collect up his mug, and I'll just I'll do one of these, just pat him on the shoulder as I'm walking past.
Cool.
That's it.
Let's see.
I'd like to say that maybe I'm like, is there darts here?
Why wouldn't there be?
It's an inn, isn't it?
Gonna play a game of darts. Actually, before we, I actually think that if we're sitting there in silence, sorry to say to like retcon you patting his shoulder, having a nice moment. Like darts, and he like stands up and like brings his alcohol over to darts.
And Jack gives you a pat on the shoulder as you walk, as you guys.
Yeah, there we
each
go.
have
You
a
can
good
pat me on the
walk.
shoulder.
reaching to get him.
Yeah.
No, if he finishes his drink as he's walking off to play darts, I'll walk up to him and take his mug and say, "Let me get you another one."
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So then, I'll take his mug and my mug in one hand as I'm walking away. Then I'll pat him on the back, pat him on the shoulder, give him a smile, then go and get some more drinks for just him, not me.
So
I do want to
ahead.
talk to Bryn before we go to bed, because I've been meaning to talk to her sometime. Sorry to bring you back, Steph.
I was just gonna say it.
Okay. I've been meaning to talk to her in the evening sometime when we're not using spells, but haven't had a chance. And I'm gonna ask her if she can send a couple messages for me.
I can send you, I think, 3 messages.
For what it's worth, Rayland, while they're thinking about this,
5
the town of
messages.
Pitchwoodburg is exceedingly poor, or relatively poor at least. You'd really be playing for silvers. If you wanted to roll some, we can.
I can play him later if he wants to play for money.
You just gotta play for the love of the game.
That's right. I just wanted to let you know that it is.
It's not about the money.
It's not about the money here. That's for sure.
I think Raylan would be like, well, it is about the money, but it's also not about the money.
Accurate. Okay.
So yeah, you have 5 messages that can be sent.
I should only need to send 2, but depending on responses I get, it might be 3. Great. So I'll just pull Bryn aside kind of privately, but it doesn't need to be. And I'll just say I'd like to send a couple messages to.
I'm gonna listen in.
I missed
Make a stealth
that.
check.
I have missed this.
Me too. Plus 11.
Oh gosh, you might not be able to fail.
I'm alone though, right?
You are alone, yeah.
I'm with friends. 27.
Yeah,
20.
No,
28.
you're fine. You're fine. She doesn't notice. Nobody notices you.
Holy shit.
I will just say to her, I want to send a couple of messages to the Lady Shalosha. Date her as to what's going on. First message reads, Myetharia, we suspect Steppengard is being mind-controlled by a Regesian sympathizer in his court. He marches 10,000 against Gallo for his stance against Regesia. And I'll wait for a response before I send the second one.
You hear back. It says, such formality. Dassen tears itself apart, I hear. Unfortunate we cannot assist. Am working on father. We'll see what the results may be.
A second message reads, likely a week till the army reaches Gallo. Regesians found at Alidi Gap's furthermost outpost. One captured for questioning, others killed with one inquisitor.
This one takes a minute to come back, as there's some consideration happening. Eventually you hear back. I may keep this to myself. I worry that father might take it as prompting for action. Regardless, good to know. I will keep it in my back pocket. Formally yours, Shalosha.
Come on,
knew this.
each
We
one
were
was
talking
25 words. I read them over and over again, trying to be nice and totally relaxed, but no. 25 words exactly each.
You don't think that Lady Shalosha's
Crammed in
got a little bit of
everything.
sass to her, a little bit of fun?
It does. And when I hear that, I'm just gonna. Oh, she's all right. Bryn, you said you have 3 more you can do.
Let's keep it.
Bryn.
Let's keep it up.
Oh, I'll just send
Maybe 2
one
if I
more.
want.
If you want to be selfish. No, I'll just send one more. Goodness. These other ones so planned out and like. Just say. Glad to hear you're still in high spirits. I'm hoping that you're well. Only Myetharia.
Thankfully well after the hurricane, Melly. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. Don't take my jests too hard.
I miss her so much. Yes. Thank you.
Can I just add really quick that I think Myetharia actually would have planned out what to say in those as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it was just Becca. It feels like something Myetharia would do.
Oh, definitely. She definitely has a note, like, because Bryn has given her the stipulations. It has to be 25 words, and she's like, I have all this information.
She's got a piece of parchment, and, like, a lot of it has, like, lines through it. And arrows written over here. And, like,
meticulously planned.
She's got, like, 3 jokes on the side, just in case she needs them.
Shlosha called her Melly, right?
You don't get to hear her message.
That,
oh no.
I do because Bryn would have said it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I have to tell you.
Say it out loud.
That's
so
true.
Bryn and I heard it.
Be like, thank you, Bryn. I appreciate that.
Of course. Anytime.
Hopefully we'll have a South SD's aid in the long run. Not sure. I hate thinking about it, but maybe we'll have to go and do one of these trips over there to go to their aid. I don't know. Hopefully not, but
So, I know you're typically private, but it seems like she was a little less formal than I would assume that she would be. How do you know her? Other than her being the leader of your people.
Grew up together. We were best friends for probably the first 50 years of our lives. Separable. Much to of our parents' chagrin, I think.
Why's that?
Oh, just because she's a princess. She's the future leader of Charlesti, and oftentimes we'd be off playing and misbehaving. And she should have been studying or at some formal meeting or whatever.
Well, you couldn't be too lowborn yourself if she was still allowed to play with you. I imagine if you were just some friend off the street, she wouldn't be allowed to, and that'd be the end of it. You'd have to have access to be able to play with her.
You've hit the nail right on the head. And I've never exactly talked about it, but don't hide the facts. No, I'm not royalty or anything, but I am born noble. My mother is part of the Charlesti court.
Wow.
Yes. Such fame.
Is it typical for someone like yourself to go into the army and things like that, or did your mother expect other things from you? I'm sorry if I'm prying. I know. I
mean, you're prying, but I don't mind. A couple drinks, I don't mind. But she definitely expected different things of me. I mean, royal upbringing, beautiful gowns, lessons from private tutors, all sorts of things, and didn't exactly use it, I think, the way she thought I would. The army specifically, I mean, just about anyone can join the army, but nobles aren't as prone to downgrading themselves, I think that's the word they would use, especially from the Shalasti court. Grading themselves to fight alongside the common man or elf.
So, why did you then? I mean, you had a good friend. It seemed. I mean,
I didn't join the war until it was probably after 100. I don't recall exactly when. 140, I think, something like that. Give or take a few years. I think I would keep track, but it all sort of gets a little muddled after the first 100 years. And honestly, it was, if I have to be honest, it was more that I was just bored. I don't know how the elves do it.
Insight check.
Pretending.
I want to see if she's actually bored or if there was something else.
Gosh.
Wisdom base, come on. Oh shit. 9.
So to continue.
Huh?
She says, I said to continue. She says, I don't know how other elves do it, but they seem to act as though living hundreds and hundreds of years is such a breeze, and I don't know, everything gets just so boring after a while. And the same thing, decades upon decades. A few decades of doing the same thing over and over again, have to switch to something new. And then after a few more decades of doing the same thing over and over again, something new. And the process repeats itself, at least for me, for nearly 200 years now. So I've always been very curious, and I'll have to ask Jack if we all get out of this. A couple 100 years, he's faced the same struggle as I have to find things to do. Doesn't get bored from the same things.
I guess that makes sense. I certainly don't live as long as you, and I was quite content to just be at home, and all this is still very new to me. So I imagine I wouldn't need a change before I meet my my end, not necessarily untimely. Yeah, maybe not untimely. I didn't mean that. Sounded dramatic.
Well, if I don't meet an untimely end myself, I imagine myself getting content, but quite settled at home. Don't imagine I'll be doing this to my 400s.
Thank you for sharing, even though you didn't have to.
Well, it's to do with hearing anything Shalosha had to say, so I don't like opening up to too many people. You know that.
Well, I'm
Kind of
honored that you've found it acceptable to open up to me. Even if it was just out of utility.
No, I feel like if we weren't in war times, you and I would be good friends. Perhaps when the war is over, be able to bond a little more. Just me being around You having gone through a couple of other wars, so to speak, you don't make it a habit to make friends during wartime.
I think
Especially when you live as long as I do.
Regardless if you feel like you're making friends or not, I think you already have in us, so you're kind of up
Yes,
the creek
that's
there.
the trouble, isn't it? Someone else said something to me recently about that. And it's quite annoying. Yes, you are all friends.
I mean, if we weren't friends, if you don't feel that way, I could just, leave you on the ground if you want me to.
I can't imagine you doing that even if you tried. Much too
Probably
good.
not.
Well, with that, the rest of the evening.
Just so we can make progress, after I'm done with Rayland, I'm just going to go to Winry and just be like, tell me everything that happened. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're alive. What? And did they hurt you? Or like, is your fur okay? Like, just freak out and try to get every detail out of her.
And she punches him and says, "Shut up, I'm listening."
Right? She was getting kitty cat kisses over there.
I will send a quick message, because usually I do these privately to Justin, but I'm trying to be better about doing them in game. I will send a message to Keth and say, made it to Bresk. We were run out as traitors. Traveling around northern Dassen, preparing for Steppengard's attack on Gallows Fend. How are you? I don't know how many words that was. It's close enough.
That's fine. Do you hear back? Northern Dassen, huh? Well, that might be interesting. Maybe we'll see each other someday.
Yay!
I got another message, my last one. I say, "Son, where are you? Why so cryptic? Obviously you're okay."
I am fine. We were run out of the near area of Gates Pass and found myself taking up this is way too long. Taking up with Lady Timor's army.
Family reunion time! At least you got a heads up.
Right?
I used too many. Damn it.
I'll do it in the morning. We sleep. Wake up.
Oops.
You
Well, I
guys,
have lots to say to Jack, but it doesn't happen.
is there anything
Yeah,
you really want to say?
I like it.
Specific?
Solid. 10 out of 10.
He has a little bit of a furball.
I really enjoyed my time alone with Rayland, but I'm so glad to talk to somebody that
Buddy,
cares
literally.
about me.
Are you sure you're talking to Jack right now? Because it feels like the point of this is actually to Rayland.
Unless he's listening in.
He's
No.
definitely
I don't think
not
he cares, though.
He probably's left, honestly. He probably played a game, got bored, and is whittling somewhere around. He's literally whittling, just whittling a piece of wood.
Whittling his thumbs.
What?
Yeah, it's whittling.
Thank you, Cassie. Thank you.
Yeah, I just tried to sit with him and have a moment, and it was very difficult. That's actually why I came over. The silence for that, I think it was 5 minutes, but it felt like nearly an hour, was way too much. But also, I'm happy to see you and excited that you're okay. And I really missed you. I was really worried about you. I thought about you all the time. I wanted to come save you. I was so worried. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, can we just...
No.
It's been really, really, really terrible Like, I don't think that we should have left you, guys. Can we just sit and cuddle just a minute? Just sit and hold hands.
Of course. If there's a fire nearby, we can go sit there and cuddle. Kind of stroke her fur and just.
What is happening right now?
Hold me.
I haven't had any anything for like a week.
We have to remember
I've
this is
been
probably.
through a traumatic experience.
We also have to remember that like there's probably cultural norms to
Tabaxi culture.
Yeah, and like if you think about
no.
if you think about how Cass
Snuggling
interacts,
together.
You're right.
That's true.
like this isn't like I mean unless it is supposed to be romantic, in which case like by all means, but like you know it's like cats just need to snuggle. Like come on.
He's like, can we rub faces together? And Jack's like, no.
I need to rub my
Please.
scent on you
Stop.
again. It's been a long time.
That's what it is.
No,
yeah.
like I imagine like there's a spot behind her ear that she enjoys being scratched,
See,
and like she has been
don't
like she said
know.
she's been through a traumatic
I know.
experience, and the only person that she's had to help her process it is fucking Rayland. She's probably
And
about to
she
have a
needs
full-on
some, like-
breakdown.
Emotional, like I don't know.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Emotional support through physical contact.
I get it.
Oh yeah, Raylan was not giving physical contact. He was definitely.
No, like,
You didn't have much of a choice on the eagle
on
to
the
be
rock,
the
you're like,
rock,
you
to be
touched
fair.
Yeah,
I know.
But
It's
it's
like
so
I can imagine
cold,
her being
Raylan.
like, "Can you pet me?" And he's like, "No."
You got fur. You're fine.
Pet yourself.
Yeah,
You
pet
have
yourself.
2 hands. You have 2 hands that aren't cut off.
Can't you scratch your own ear behind your own ear?
It's
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
scene. It's like that scene in the movie where the one character is all tough, is like shivering, and she moves over, like puts her tail around him to warm it up. And he's like, "Get that fucking tail off me. I'm fine."
Oh gosh.
He wouldn't say that. He would be like, "Can we not?" Yeah, I will do platonically whatever Winry needs to help de-stress and feel better.
I love that you've gotten a small insight into my wife here for just a moment.
Why your wife?
Because you're stressed out, bad things are happening. You just need to lay down and get cuddled for a minute.
Just hold me.
I mean, sometimes that's pretty accurate with human beings, okay?
Well, the rest of the evening passes as you so choose.
I'm gonna go talk to Myetharia. No, I'm just kidding.
And in the morning, up to you. Would you guys take off? Time to go?
Yep. Do the same plan. We'll ride to the foothills and then we'll fly.
Okay.
Being as stealthy as we can in our flight.
Riding along, you spend the next couple hour, hour, something. I don't know the map up to measure, and I don't really care that much right now. Making your way over to the base of the Glaskeel Cliffs. And when you arrive there, it's time to begin your flight upwards. As you do so, Jack, I'm assuming that you're turning into a giant eagle, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And summoning Cassie, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And between the two of them, the idea is to kind of go 2 and 2, flying upwards is the basic idea, right?
Yep.
Okay. So for each of you guys that is making this trip upwards, I'm going to start with Bryn and Jack, actually. Bryn, you can roll for Tabaxi for me. Each of you make a strength check.
Oh.
So I just
Or
add
an
the
athletics
strength
check.
modifier.
Yeah, the giant eagle is
Oh.
a +3
Yep.
for both of you.
22. I rolled a natural 19.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
5.
no.
Oh wait, I have inspiration. It's not gonna help.
Inspiration will be advantage.
It's
No.
advantage. It's a reroll.
Oh, it is? Okay, then
Mhm.
yeah, I'll do it.
What'd you think it was?
Oh no, is it worse?
Well, I had a
One.
2. How could we get worse?
Oh,
Wow.
you did not. Oh.
It's advantage, so you still take the 2, but it's still not a good.
So
Cassie
5.
is struggling against the high winds that these cliffs tend to produce as the shifting of air pressure that goes on in this area. It's kind of windy and cold and blustery to begin with, and in the cliff area, it just is ferocious, ripping winds. Jack doesn't seem to struggle too much in his eagle form, but Tabaxi, with a couple of people on his back, is struggling. As you guys fly upwards then, Tabaxi and everybody on Tabaxi, which we need to decide who's on who here. Bryn, I'm assuming you're riding with Tabaxi. Who's with you?
Who do we have? We have Bryn,
Rayland. I think Rayland got it.
Rayland,
I was gonna say,
Winry.
Rayland, was that a me? Is that what I
Yeah.
heard over there? Okay.
and Moccasin. Right?
Yeah.
I can imagine Winry will probably be like, please don't. No, I don't want to sit with him again. So I will offer to ride with Rayland.
Well, Bryn
I would-
is with Rayland on Tabaxi.
I would ask that Myetharia rides with me.
So you got Myetharia and Winry.
Okay.
Sure.
And then Moccasin.
And Moccasin can be on whichever bird
With
you want.
us.
He's not a combat feature here, one way or the other. Everybody that's making this flight, and then so Bryn and Rayland at disadvantage, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Oh, I'm already at. Oh.
And Rayland at disadvantage?
Yep, because of the
Cassie's
bird's
stuck
struggles.
Doing bad.
And struggles.
With so do I have advantage?
You're stealthing with someone, right?
Oh, are we all rolling it? I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Yep, everybody
Yeah, you just get a
rolls.
regular.
Yep.
I got 17.
Nice.
14.
Let's stick with my green again.
31. The highest I can get.
I
That's
just
a
rolled
lot.
a natural
This
20.
doesn't feel so good.
So
What?
28.
So wait, you have an
28.
11? You have an 11 stealth? How does that work?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
Do you have expertise in stealth?
What? I don't know. It's plus 11.
That's legitimately just a question.
Yelling
Like,
at me.
literally just asking a question.
Your stealth is higher. I mean, mine's 9. I guess
Oh, you do have expertise. That's why.
I what?
Makes sense.
Expertise.
Double
I mean,
proficiency, basically.
Double proficiency.
I have
You
expertise.
must have gotten expertise from something.
I have expertise too. But oh wait, maybe it's.
Oh,
is it
she has
because-
+4 to her dex. You must only have +3. Or
Probably.
5 and 4, whichever way around. 5 and 4. Sorry.
I rolled a 7.
Well, the two
Okay.
people on your back got natural 20s, so.
They both did?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, while Jack is being a little bit noisy, trying to make this, he's focusing more on the strength and staying steady and not losing you guys off the back of it or anything like this on your way up through these high winds. The rest of you guys try to keep him quiet and keep the bird from squawking too much as it's making its way upwards. It is not
Lots of
the
pets.
easiest trip for this bird because flying straight up as a bird is not fun. Because it's like a
No
back and
gliding.
forth, just over and over, just arching back and forth, trying to gain altitude as you go, trying to hit updrafts as much as you can. But you make your way upwards, and as you do so, you start to pass nests of griffins. Fortunately, the griffins don't seem to find much interest in you guys right now, or don't notice you, one or the other. As you make it a little higher up, you start to pass these cliff faces with some caves in them, and you can just catch a glimpse of what looks like large ape hands sticking out from one of the caves. But it's taking a nap. And because of your very high group stealth rolls, you guys make it up the cliff face without having to fight anything to get there.
Well done.
Would the ape have attacked us from being on the ground?
Maybe.
He's big.
We will never know.
Bad as
Shoot, I
sound.
forgot we were going to. I forgot we were going to
Oh,
fail
wow.
our stealth check so we could fight
I
something.
know.
Darn it!
We did
I
it
see
wrong.
All right,
I
sorry.
see the ape hand, and I feel like a connection to it.
Aww. You want to reach out?
Yeah, I
King
mean,
Kong
I guess
and Lady
I
Kong
see the ape, and
style.
I want to be like,
I'm just
"Ooh,"
trying to
and I'm like,
imagine what it would be like to be stealthy. Like, are we like we must have been like skimming along the edge of the cliff at the places where there were nests, so that like we kind of stay out of their way. They're like,
They're privy.
yeah, I don't know.
Or the other side of it might be being able to keep enough distance from them. You notice them from far enough away, you're able to keep a little bit of distance, kind of blend in with the cliff wall a little bit more, get really close to it.
Yeah.
But either way, you're able to not draw attention to yourselves, and the griffins don't pick you out as being rivals or interference in their domain. And so either way, you guys make it up to the top of the cliff face, landing on the side of the Glasskeeled Cliffs, looking downwards. It goes down about 3,500 feet downwards. It is not quite sheer, but it is like 85 degrees downwards, basically, with like cliff faces every 100 feet or so, 50, 100 feet, periodically on the way upwards. You could have climbed it in theory. It would have been a difficult climb, but it is something that would be possible to do. Either way.
Are you going to send a message?
I decided I'll wait till we get there.
Okay. You land on the side, and you know that just a little bit over a mile from the edge of the cliffs, an easy walk on foot, is Lady Timor's castle.
Boy.
As you make it there, a clustering of over a dozen towers, surrounded by moats, connected by bridges up in the above the ground, and rooftops patrolled by mages. The castle of Lady Timor is easily the most magically gifted in all of Dassen, and so is her lands. You know from some experience, especially the nobility of you, that she styles herself as a young archmage and lives in a tower all of her own. Is there anything special that you'd like to do on the approach, or are we just making standard approaches?
I got nothing.
Yeah, I think like before, just non-threatening.
Okay. As you approach the gates, then there's some guards who are waiting for you at the front entrance. And as you approach,
You know what? I've got the spell slots. I'll go ahead and give myself enhance ability.
Sure.
Just in case.
Okay. As you approach, the guards seem to find you very easily. Kind of lock in, walk over to you on your way up towards the castle, and they say, "Lady Timor is expecting you on the 7th floor balcony. She has warned us of your approach. If you will follow me."
Okay.
Absolutely.
They lead you upwards into one of the towers, into her tower as it turns out, and find your way up to the 7th floor balcony that you were told of, and find that it is...
Really quick. I
Sure.
imagine the guard guy who walks up to us like, they're expecting you, and like turns and walks. Jack's like, very warm greetings, I'm Jack.
Yeah, just trying to talk to his back as he's walking along in front of you.
I just need to get it in there.
You find the 7th floor balcony overlooks the snowy cliffs down below. Just like, it's only a mile away, so she can just like look out the back balcony basically and down this huge cliffside. And it is also magically warmed, as the balcony, despite being braced or like in the face of the wind and the cold, there's almost like a dome of heat that seems to keep both the wind and the cold out.
That's what I want right now.
As you guys walk into the room, she's just staring off the balcony down to the cliff faces and beyond. And after a moment, as you enter, you hear like the guard like knocks and kind of clears his throat for a moment and introduces you. She turns around, and you can see that a smile lights across her face, and she says, "Yeah, I have been waiting for you as well. I'm sure that you've heard this before, as I've gotten word from Lord Dashkaban that you've already visited in that direction. I have been waiting to meet you ever since Everett couldn't stop talking about you.
I hope he only said
yes.
good things.
What was that, Myetharia?
I said I hope he only said good things.
Well, good enough at the very least. I'm sure there was something in there negative, but to be honest, I tuned him out at some point. You can be around chatty.
We were, first of all, very warm greetings, Lady Timor. My name is Jack. We're the Protectors of the Past. When we spoke with King Steppengard, our attempts at diplomacy were dashed upon very angry and not very kind rocks. And the one who was there to pick up the pieces immediately was Everett. He was happy to pick our spirits up and let us know that we had still done good. So in my books, he's a keeper.
I'm glad that he served you so well. Now come, I hear you have something for me.
We'll spill the beans, show her the evidence, tell her the story.
She takes some time kind of reviewing your stories a little bit, kind of listening really closely and intently, making sure that she understands everything. And as you produce the written orders, she takes them from you for a moment and says, if you don't mind, I'm going to have a diviner verify them just in case.
Of course.
How?
You don't need to worry about the intricacies, yeah? Let me handle the mage work. She takes the orders, kind of hands them off to one of her guards. They take them away for a little bit, and she kind of makes small talk, kind of keeping you guys discussing about various things. And after a couple of minutes, a man enters the room with the orders once more and kind of bows, nods a little bit, and says, "My lady, they are indeed legitimate. You have no cause for concern."
Yeah, you have to learn how to do that.
I agree. I
They
was
left
hoping
the
they would
room,
come
right?
here so that I could copy them.
They did leave the room, yes.
Darn it.
Well, regardless, I did have a couple of questions for you while you were here.
Of course.
I'd heard through Everett that you were the cause of the end of the forest fires. Is that the case?
That is true.
Does
That
she
is
seem
in fact
happy or angry
Yeah,
about this?
I was
Make an
gonna
insight
say that's true.
Some
unless
people
you're
seem to
unhappy
think
about
it
that.
wasn't such a good thing.
I'm still
I
going
was
to blow
gonna-
through that, not
I
even
was gonna say
consider
that.
it. I'm going to say, in fact, our friend Winry here is
Well-
wearing a trinket that allowed us to complete such our quest. To complete that quest.
Boy.
Well, I do not hold it against you or anything like this. I feel it is within my dues to note that you have jeopardized our lands. I understand
Yes, we
that
had
there
not
may have been...
realized the implications. We had not realized the implications.
Yeah,
of how we
you know,
were trying to
usually,
save
like, you
lives.
see a fire burning and you just gotta put it out.
As
There's
I
also
said,
there was also a indigenous people that had been suffering for decades within that place, and we were their only hope. I believe that even considering the political nuance that it would be, that most other people would have made the same decision.
We also were trying to get out one of our own who would have been stuck otherwise.
like I said, I understand that you may have had reasons. I merely want to mention that there are more who are concerned about this, or who are affected by this, than you may have initially thought. That is all.
Is
Do not
the
worry.
fire
Does not...
forest part of your land?
What was that?
Is the fire forest part of your land?
It was not part of Darsson at all originally, at the very least, but the border now is part of my land. Which is just a new pass, a new opening to have to consider and worry about. That is all.
Well, we trust that our brethren in Gate Pass will hold their own and will at least be enough of a distraction to the Regessians to stop them from heading our direction.
I hope so. I truly do.
We know so.
Regardless, I will commit some troops to your cause. And tell Michael that I have done so. We'll be sending 50 mages and an escort of soldiers, 800 foot, 200 cavalry. Along with that, we will send an elemental ally, one who will be of vital use, I suspect, or at least I hope.
What element?
Earth, actually.
Pretty cool.
I'm sure that you will find Zorn particularly enjoyable.
Already.
Can do one other thing for you if you'd like. Not know how easy it was for you to come up the cliffs, but it can be easy for you to descend them. I can have my mages cast fly upon you if you'd like to return quickly.
All that would be preferable. We actually have someone that we hope to see within your gates.
Will you pump your brakes?
Jack is excited.
Well, how do you know I even told you?
Does Jack
Did you-
know
Yeah.
about this?
She didn't say anything.
You don't know
Did
it.
you not
No,
say
I
it?
didn't.
All right,
I did it for the
then
audience.
Then I take it back. I apologize.
I was gonna get there. You're just all foot on the pedal here.
I
son.
would have assumed you would have shared, but now we know that Bryn keeps secrets. Good to know.
Oh my gosh! It was
This is the reason why she's been private messaging Justin these conversations this whole time.
Probably.
Yeah, it's that right there.
Clear
that I forget that I have
knowledge.
a son that I can talk to. My lady, I know this sounds invasive, but could you point me toward your barracks or any new recruits? I think there might be someone that I'd like to meet before we go, if that's okay with you.
Of course. We can go there first. Do not spend too long, though. The mages will have to get on their way soon.
Okay.
Preferably before sunset if we can, but maybe it will be the next morning. We could probably wait one evening if you needed.
Thank you, my lady.
That would be fine.
You gotta break your boy's leg. You ain't going no fight.
Well, we'll see if you.
True.
Mama bear.
Lesser of
might
two
be here to
evils.
defend, to stay at the castle.
Bryn,
We don't know what he's part of.
Who would you know here?
I messaged my son, Keth, last night, and he said that he joined Lady Timor's forces.
And you didn't tell us?
Everybody was in bed.
We have been traveling for all day, and you haven't said that
For
your
all
son
day.
is here yet?
Well,
You know
Did
Shut
we
up,
get to
Kathy.
meet
Not
him?
helping.
Back. Sometimes some things are kept private, you know. Didn't want to tell us yet. It's alright.
Do you like it when Myetharia keeps information from us?
she doesn't.
Keep information from you? Don't keep information from you. This way is not pertinent information.
Well, let's go meet him.
I didn't want to get my hopes up. We didn't know when we were going to get here or if he would actually be here or not. Let's go.
Right.
I was just being an ass.
I know, and I hate it.
Well, it is easy enough for you guys to head down there. I would say that Timor's Lands is mainly humans, and so when you make it down into the barracks, we'll just say easier term that way, there's a handful of newer looking recruits, I guess you could say. What you can know, or what you can kind of assume, I guess, is that there's been a influx of refugees, of course, and some of them have decided to, instead of continue on and get further away, anything like this, decided to take up arms themselves. And so there are some kind of newer divisions of troops that have come in, and among them are a number of orcs and half-orcs and people who kind of stand out from the rest of the soldiers, who don't necessarily fit perfectly into the armor that was made previously, things like this, that just kind of, they don't quite look the same. And as you are kind of going down there, working your way through, kind of inspecting everybody, looking at faces, you do, in fact, find, eventually, Keth, your son.
I yell out and I run the rest of the way to him and squeeze him as tight as I can, even though I'm his mom in front of all of his army buddies.
Yeah,
Yes.
As you scream out his name, he like turns and looks, and like his eyes go wide for a brief moment, and you see like just blanches, just mortified for the instantaneous look as you came running over. He doesn't fight you at all, but he just kind of like hangs his head a little bit as you're kind of hugging him.
He's like, know what I've done. All of your army buddies would be impressed of all the things that I've done. And I'm just looking him over.
He wraps one arm around you, brings you in tight for a hug after all.
Making sure he's got no wounds or anything, any terribly big scars or...
The skies above, it is great to see you again, Mother.
It is so great to see you. I'm sorry I left without saying goodbye. I spoke to your uncle. He said that you were strong and helped everybody leave the farm safely and get to Ida. And I'm so proud of you.
I'm glad that we got them into the city first, but unfortunately we got caught out. And after we got caught out, I got separated from everyone else.
Were you completely on your own or with a couple others?
A couple others, but they've kind of stayed behind. We each kind of went our own way after we couldn't make it back into the city. You can see that he's kind of fighting it a little bit. He's kind of fighting the emotions a little bit. I'm sorry, Mom. I lost the farm.
Oh, honey.
I couldn't protect it.
It is a small thing in comparison to the lives of our entire family that you protected. In addition to protecting your life, you're still here. You're strong, and I'm proud of you. You made it all the way here. We can always rebuild it as soon as we fight our way to this victory.
You always heard stories about Grandpa and what he used to be able to do. And I mean, I took his axe and everything, but just I couldn't be him. I couldn't do it.
No one person could be Grandpa. But what he doesn't tell in all those stories is he had his companions, his soldiers with him, fighting along with him. You still have his blood in you. You are still that strong. And now that you have found a place, a relatively safe place to fight, to continue to fight, you can prove to yourself that you are just the man that he is. Or was. You'd like to see Grandpa pick up that axe now, right? I don't know why I joked. He probably could. Yeah.
He kind of smiles and just kind of nods, trying to take it in, trying to absorb it. And after a moment, he wraps his arms back around you, kind of pulls you back into a hug, and said, "I've missed you so much. Did Dad ever find you?"
I haven't seen him since I left. When did he leave?
Well, last I heard, he was headed back into the city to try to find you.
I haven't seen him, son. Has he communicated at all with you or with
I haven't
know
heard
if he's
from him
got-
since.
I'll look into it. I'll look into it and I'll let you know. I'll talk with Ida.
Okay.
I
think they're telling us that we're supposed to get started getting things together.
As much as I want to tell you not to go, I have recently learned to trust your abilities and the skills that I have taught you to be able to take care of yourself. And you have already proved that by making it here safely and protecting our family. So,
Wow.
I'm going to give you these, and I give them a healing potion and an age good berry wine. And 10 gold, that seems like a lot, right? Like, that's a lot for just a regular soldier. Yeah, I don't know. 10 gold, 20 gold. I'll give him 20 gold.
It's not a lot to you.
Yeah,
Her
not a lot
strings
of
are
it.
tight even now.
Yeah, that's
He
real
gives him
mom
10 gold,
energy.
He's like, what?
20 gold. I'll give him 30
Yeah.
He goes, don't
So
spend
what
all
what does a movie cost these days? Like 20
Gotta get
bucks?
started.
You know?
After my day.
And when I,
Yeah,
when
I
I say
know.
those things, I look to Rayland and Winry. I know you will take care of yourself. I imagine we'll be close. Right, guys? I think we're gonna help in the fight, aren't we? Unless Gallo sends us someplace else.
Hi, we're your mom's friends.
I'm
Hi,
sorry.
I'm Winry.
Your mom is incredible.
You guys all just back there waving. Hey.
Yeah, just awkwardly waving in the background.
You should be really
Listening to
proud of your mom.
everything.
She's done incredible things.
This is Jack and Winry and Myetharia, and this is Rayland.
Very warm greetings.
Hi everyone.
I met them in Gate Pass, and through Ida and Jorah and the Resistance, we were sent on a mission and have gone over the entire southern part of the world.
Wow. Yeah, I thought I'd made it a long ways.
Oh my goodness, son. It's okay that we don't have the farm, but man, do I want a small farm again when this is all done.
Hard to believe that you just up and were gone one day. Well, we'll figure it out. We've got an evening before we go if you want.
I would love that if you aren't too embarrassed to hang out with your mom for a night.
Of course. We can remember the farm.
Rayland could teach you how to play darts. Apparently, it's a
Perfect.
skill that soldiers need to know.
You know, I've always thought that I could get better at it.
Yeah, it's all in the wrist.
Well, we'll see. And I think that as you guys rest or go in for the evening, a little bit of familiarity amongst a sea of uncertainty, I think that is where we will end tonight's session.